Hello, my name is Jacob Friedman, and these are email expectations across the generations. The first person I interviewed was my mom, Paula. She has been a real estate agent in the city of Denver for over 27 years now. She's part of Generation X, which may influence the formality of her communication. I also interviewed my brother, David. He's been working at an oil company in Colorado for now 2 years in the marketing department. He is part of the millennial generation, which may explain the more casual form of his communication. In order to conduct a fair and equal survey, I decided to form 11 questions in which I was able to ask both interviewees. I tried to keep their answers to short, minimal answers with ability for precise answers to my questions. The 11 questions I asked both interviewees were: how long does it take you to respond back to an email? How do you sign off? Do you say Mr. or Mrs.? Do you ask about their day or dive right in? Do you email about going to business lunches or prefer to text? How many sentences on average are your emails? Is an email how you build your reputation? Do you draft your emails before sending them? And when is it not okay to email in business? If you don't email, how will you contact the person? And do you use the subject line? My mom, Paula, responded with the answers. She responds with same-day responses. She signs off with thank you, kind regards, her name, phone number, signature, as well as the company's name. She is not referred to the recipients as Mr. or Mrs. Before diving into the email, she asks about the client's day. Paula both emails or texts a client, just depends on the client. On average, every email is around 5 sentences. An email is how you build your reputation. She does not draft her emails. They are ready to go after small editing. It is not okay to email when circumstances are urgent. Paula will prefer to call the client if emailing is not the best method, and she will always use the subject lines when sending an email. I was a little bit shocked at the more relaxed and casual forms of emails sent by this Generation X. I thought that Generation X communication would be more addressing people like Mr. or Miss. That's how I address people, so I was shocked to find out she doesn't do that. And then the response times are pretty fast. I'm kind of slow when it comes to that. And her emails tend to be short and concise. I wasn't overly surprised with her use of the phone if the email method fails. And I felt a sense of confidence in the style of emails explained by my mom. Next, I asked my brother David the exact same questions, but his answers were a little bit different. David responded to clients within the hour on a daily basis. He ends the email with his signature, position, phone number, and company name, as well as social media. He usually does not refer to the clients as Mr. or Miss, but it also depends on the formality. Instead of diving straight into the email, he'll usually make a statement about the client's day, such as, "I hope your day was well." When asking a coworker or client to go to work, he will either send a text or there's a media platform within his company called Team. Every email greatly varies in length, but nothing too long. He also mentioned that he separates out his emails into sections that allow the reader to read the email more easily. An email is your reputation, as it shows your intellect and etiquette. David will template his drafts before sending the emails off. It is not okay to send an email when it is more efficient to talk over the phone or in lengthy conversations. When an email is not sufficient, David will use the app Teams or phone calls. He will always use the subject line when completing an email. I was again surprised to see how quickly and how much care goes into every email that my brother sends. But again, I was left out to dry on the formal part of the Mr. or Mrs. at the beginning of the email. We are similar in that we both draft our emails as well. When comparing my mom and my brother's emails, or Generation X and the Millennial generation, both respond pretty fast with endings that describe a way to communicate further. Both are not as formal as I expected it to be. They both agree that your reputation is partially dependent on your email format, style, and everything in between, which includes your grammar and spelling. A phone call works perfectly for both if the email is not sufficient. Overall, I was really excited for this assignment, and I got to see how my family emails. Thank you, and best of luck.